I think we glamorize growth so much online, but the reality is behind closed doors, it's scary. It's so scary. My CEO called me in for a meeting right after Vision Summit. My world was flipped upside down. Like, are you in or are you out? Most of it was just me crying, snotty crying mess. Since January, my nervous system has been in fight or flight mode because high-performing people are just as nervous, are just as scared, are just as uncomfortable with the changes. We've just figured out a way to keep moving through it. What if you don't? What if you fly? What if this is the choice that changes your life? And we can't let fear hold us back anymore. Big risk, big win, or big lesson. You got nothing to lose. Hi, welcome back. I am so glad you came back and I haven't scared you away. If you are new here, my name is Brandi Reins and this is Taking Life by the Reins. We really just talk about it all here. We get into the nitty gritty. We share way too many secrets. In fact, sometimes when my husband hears me blabbing like on a live video or on my podcast, I'm like, you're giving away passwords. Because sometimes I'm like, oh, I lived on this street and I used to do this and I was born then. And he's like, stop. You're giving away all your passwords. You need to chill. I truly have enjoyed creating this podcast and sharing my heart on a new level and sharing some crazy stories. If you caught the episode with my best friend Alexa, you know a little bit more about me now than you ever have before. I actually am a creator by nature. I have been working from social media since 2017. I think that I started working on social media when live video became a thing. It wasn't even a thing. In fact, I'm pretty sure there was something called Periscope before I started doing lives. Like literally the month I started is when lives were like becoming big. I've done makeup tutorials my whole life, like my whole adult life, basically. I'm 33, almost 34 now. And it's just become a part of my outlet. It's become a part of my creative outlet, a part of something that's just like my daily routine. And I do share a lot, but for some reason in this space, on this podcast, I just feel a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more confident with sharing my story. And so I am so grateful that you have decided to join me and listen. And I read through all of your comments. I'm so grateful for so many of you sharing your heart with me. So thank you, truly, from the bottom of my heart. Right now, I am in probably one of the biggest transitional periods of my life in so many ways. In motherhood, just really navigating my kids almost being preteens, if you know, you know. In business, my husband and I thankfully are in such a good, strong place in our marriage, thanks to therapy. But when it comes to business, I'm in the biggest transitional period I've ever been in. There is so much going on that I've told you about, but also behind the scenes. And it's all exciting. It's all nerve-wracking. But here's the thing. I think we glamorize growth so much online on social media. I think we make growth and change and milestones and achievements look so glamorous. But the reality is behind closed doors, it's scary. It's so scary. And I know deep down in my core that whatever happens is God's will because I pray for it every single day. But I'm hoping by the end of this episode, you can understand the fear that I currently am embracing, the nervousness, the chaos, just like genuinely how scary it can be from day to day to chase your dreams and to make strides towards your goals and to take big risks, right? Like a very good friend of mine, she always says, you have to take big risks to have big wins. And her saying that to me one day was like such a eye-opener because I thought, I know that and I do that. But I think that mentally I struggle every time I do that because nobody's ever said to me out loud, it's okay to be really scared in this transitional period. And so I hope at the end of today's episode, you can get a glimpse at what's really going on over here and maybe feel a little bit better about the fear and the nervousness that you have about this transitional period you're in or this chapter that you're facing. I really think that I've been somewhat forced, but in like the best way possible, to redefine my vision for my life, for my family, for my businesses. There's just a lot that we're doing right now. We're launching a new hair company. We are having some incredible conversations around partnership and new endeavors for my current existing supplement company. Back in January, I actually even talked about this much online because I think I'm still processing it. I talked about it a lot with my therapist. I actually have her on a weekly basis right now because I need a godly woman to continue pouring into me. And so do you. We all do. So back in January, I flew to Utah. My company that I've been with since May of 2017 had a vision summit. And the company had some big announcements. And so we kind of were going through the motions, and I was announcing my new hair company that's going to be sold on the same platform. Let me rewind really quickly. My CEO, who is a genius, who I consider a good friend of mine, who I trust, who I am so grateful for, he is such a pioneer of new software and new ideas and innovative concepts. Okay. He created a platform a couple years ago called Komigo and actually brought me on as one of the very first, it was me and like two other top sellers to pilot this entire concept to help build it from the ground up. Actually brought me on as a consultant to help create Komigo. And Komigo is technically still the software in which the company runs on today, but we've changed the name, forward-facing name, because it's more like on trend. It just sounds better. It's called Curated now. I'm sure if you follow me, you know what I'm talking about. But we decided to announce that we were going to have this new platform, Curated, where, and actually at that point, we hadn't even announced Curated. I didn't even know about Curated quite yet. I just knew that we were going to be announcing at this Vision Summit, and we did announce at this Vision Summit, all of these amazing brands that were coming to the platform, which at the time was called Komigo. This is just in January, okay, which was only 4 months ago. And that all of these brands contribute to our sales, to rewards we can earn, to all the things. And it was so amazing. It was so exciting. And I left that Vision Summit just on an all-time high. I got to speak to the field, to my peers, share my excitement. And then my CEO called me in for a meeting right after the Vision Summit before I flew home. So I'm at this like all-time high. I'm so excited. I'm just so excited to get home and just to get to work. I won't go into full detail on what he disclosed to me in that meeting, but it was as if my world was flipped upside down. It was a lot to take in, and I realized that the vision that we once had was changing because it has to. Unfortunately, the industry in which I've worked in my entire career, network marketing, it's changing. It's now in competition with affiliate marketing. It's now in competition with the coaching business. It's now in competition with TikTok Shop and all of these different kinds of creators and opportunities. And it was an outdated opportunity. And that's not to put any shame towards network marketing. I love network marketing. I love a team. I love the concept. But he basically came to me and was like, hey, this is going to be the direction in which this company operates. Like, are you in or are you out? Again, not going to go through all the details of that meeting, but I will tell you that most of it was just me crying, snotty crying mess. A couple days later, I left, got a text from my CEO that was like, I genuinely think that God wanted me to present that opportunity, that new way, because there were very valid points that you made in response that I want to go with. and like basically validated that like, yes, we have to go a new direction because we want to still be a viable, amazing company and opportunity 10 years from now. But there are still really incredible things about the network marketing model that we can bring with us. So from that, a couple months later, we had Vision Summit Part 2. We announced that we actually are going to be launching what's called Curated. This is a forward-facing new opportunity. It's basically like a beauty LTK. Like all of these incredible brands, most of which are co-created brands, meaning people like me who are partnering with my CEO. He's literally paying for all of it. He's literally funding the entire thing, helping create the product for us, and giving us equity. Insane. And so we announced this to the field that we have this new opportunity. He allows us to keep our teams that we've built for years and years and years. He allows us to earn on all of the most amazing ways that you can earn in network marketing, but now it's more of a socially acceptable opportunity. And I'm so grateful for my company, for our CEO. Like they have always been willing to take feedback from myself and from other people in the field to just like make sure that we're heard and that what we do and how we move forward represents us in the best way. So all of that just rattles me, just shakes me to my core. And I then have to realize that this is a completely new opportunity. This is a new chapter. This is almost as if I'm in corporate America and I'm working at AT&T, and then the next day I have to figure out how to transition over to working at, I don't know, T-Mobile. This is a completely new type of company and opportunity. That was probably the worst. I'm terrible at those. What are those? Metaphors? Not metaphors. Analogy? I didn't graduate college. Y'all know this. So whatever the heck I'm trying to do right now, I'm not good at those kinds of examples. But I quickly realized like, okay, how you operate, how you work, your vision has to change. And I want to stop there for a second. You have likely or are likely walking through or have walked through a situation where you desperately wanted to hold on to the old way. You wanted to continue on the way you always have because if you're anything like me, you don't love change. I really hate it. I can adapt to change. My childhood prepared me for this. Moving every year, having to pivot, having to survive in chaos prepared me to be able to deal with change. Do I like it? No, because I've always been forced to go through it. And so since January, my nervous system has been in fight or flight mode because I have had to, and I would say probably in the last like 30 days, I've gotten to a really good place where I've not just even accepted it, but I've become so excited about really what this new opportunity can be. The fact that all of these amazing creators are making their very own brands. And like in today's day and age, that is what people want to shop. Like, yes, big box, we can support it, but also we want to support small companies. We want to support creator and influencer led companies. And that's what we're doing here. And so although I'm so grateful, and yes, on social media, we glamorize things like this where it's so exciting, it's also so scary because literally the things that I normally do in my day-to-day work schedule have had to completely change. The way that I support the people that choose to partner with me in business has to change. The way that I operate the back end of my business, it has to change. And so although stepping forward in the public eye, it looks glamorous, it's exciting, it's a blessing. Yes, all of that's true. But the internal, like fight or flight, the internal battle that I've gone through is a lot. Then we layer on, kind of this transitional time with my supplement company. We're launching 4 new products this year. I'm just like so grateful that we're finally at the end of the road with getting these new products on the market. Holy crap. Our peptides are going to like fly. They're going to fly. I'm actually nervous. We are, in the works of partnering with my company to scale and grow this company, right? But man, like when new opportunity opens up in front of you, when you have a chance to grow, a lot of times we recluse, we run, we get scared. I think if you can learn how to literally just keep moving, even though you're scared, even though you're fearful, even though you're nervous, if you can figure out what your body needs to continue operating moving forward, that will absolutely result in success for you. I feel like a lot of people don't realize that high performing people are just as nervous, are just as scared, are just as uncomfortable with the changes and the growth that you are. We've just figured out a way to keep moving through it. And I think that is ultimately the deciding factor on if or if not you'll be successful in whatever you're facing. I will say, I physically have to open my Bible and read my Bible every day and say out loud several times a day, like, God, please help me. God, please guide me. Give me guidance. Give me strength. Give me knowledge. Give me perseverance. God, please let your will be done. I can't tell you how many times a day I say, God, let this be your will, or shut the door. Like, and if that's your prayer, I will tell you, I was just talking to a good friend of mine the other day, and she was like, we were talking about something that I'm kind of making decisions on. And she was like, if it's God's will, which is what you've been praying for every single day, then it's going to happen. And if it's not, then it's not going to happen. And I think so often we're waiting for like stars to align or like a big sign in the sky to tell us like, is this God's will or not? Unfortunately, he don't work like that, but he will close the door if you're not meant to walk through it. Now, this is a big important part of this. Sometimes he doesn't close the door and it's not meant for you, right? Like we have free will. He doesn't shut that door and you walk through it, and it's not success that you find, but it is a lesson learned. And I can't tell you how many doors I've walked through where I'm like, quickly realized this one's not from God. This one is definitely a lesson learned. And that's another thing. Like, I'm pretty sure it was Will Smith who says you have to lose the negative connotation with failure. Like, you should be just seeking failure. It's like, go for the no. You could tell it came from network marketing because I know what go for the no is. I think it's really important that we are constantly pushing ourselves to failure. It's just like in the gym. It's just like a workout. Like when you read a workout and it says, the burner or the last rep or the last workout, like this is your burner round, whatever. It'll say do XYZ till failure, do push-ups till failure, pull-ups till failure, bicep curls till failure. Till failure means that you're physically shaking. You literally cannot pull yourself up even an inch more. Failure, not go till you're I've never ever read a workout or been in a workout class where they said, oh, just do push-ups till you're tired to end the class. No, they say till failure, till you're sweating, till you're shaking, till you physically can't move. And I think that you should take that concept in physical terms as well when it comes to going after your dreams or, working towards a goal or walking into a new opportunity. Go until failure. Like, can you physically move forward? Right? And sometimes it's no. Sometimes God's like, door shut, stop trying to force it. Sometimes it's you have to strengthen yourself in this season. You have to step forward. This doesn't even have to be business related. This could be like you in life right now. Like, money is tight, relationships are hard, work is awful, parenting is hard. You physically don't feel good. You're not taking care of your body. You wake up and you're like, do I want to keep trying? Like, I know some of you mentally are there because I've been there. I think we've all been there at some point or another in our life. And if you haven't, amazing. But like, the reality is a lot of us have been there where we're like, do I have what it takes to keep doing this, or should I just give up? I think if you can just ask yourself, the price I will pay giving up my dream worth it, or can I go a little bit more? Have you hit failure? Because most of us are just tired. We haven't hit failure. I like to, I might have been even in the same podcast, Will Smith talking about bricks and building a wall. And it's like, you never seek to just build a wall. I mean, think about the wall of China, for example, like just a huge wall, or a building in your downtown area. They didn't just go, I want to build this in one day. No, they literally said, I'm going to lay each brick individually, one brick at a time, as perfectly as I can place the brick, as level, as even, as smooth as I can place this brick. And then I'm going to repeat that over and over and over and over and over. And then eventually I have a wall. I think so often we look at like our goals, our dreams, or just our life, just getting through life as like all of this stuff, all of these things, all of the tasks, all of the obligations, all of the hurdles and the struggles. And we just like bird's eye view, we just look at it all and we feel the weight of that. And we don't even know where to start. And that overwhelm just turns your brain off. And guess what? Some days your girl be in the bed, because I feel you on that. Sometimes, especially when Auntie Flo is in town, I'm like, I think I've hit failure today. That's okay. I'm going to get back up tomorrow. The reality is like, you don't have to figure it all out today. In fact, you don't have to figure out everything ever to keep moving forward, ever. You just have to figure out one step forward today. In each area of your life that you're working towards a goal, that you're struggling in, like I think there's two sides of the coin. It's taking steps forward and going till failure to improve your life. And it's, or to face the things you're struggling with, right? But then also on the other side of it, to face your goals and the achievements and the milestones that you want to hit. Again, I think we so often watch people on social media and they're just hitting milestones and they're winning and they're starting businesses and they're starting this and they're earning this and they go on this trip. And unfortunately, the reality is it's the highlight reel and it's glamorized on social media. And then you get in your head and you think, I can't even get myself to go on a walk, move my body. I can't even get a new job. I can't even hit XYZ goal. Like we are so paralyzed because 1, we're scared. 2, we don't have it all figured out. And then 3, we're comparing ourselves. Like we're watching people on social media. We're watching people on TikTok. We're watching people at work, our friends in our local areas that are achieving and winning, because nobody's walking around talking about how scared they are. Nobody is walking around talking about their failures at all. So if I can be a source of that for you, I will. There are so many days where I'm like, I get an email and it's asking me, it's literally using acronyms and it's asking me all about these different business things that I'm like, I have no idea. But hold on, let me just ask my good old friend AI if he can help me out really quick, because I don't know what that acronym stands for. There have been so many obstacles for me to launch new products with my supplement company. And it's exciting. We're coming up on 2 years in business and we have hit incredible milestones. But when I tell you that I have walked through this business every single day, shaking in my bones, nervous, scared, fearful, and to be frank, I have probably the world's worst imposter syndrome. When I tell you I feel like an imposter every day, I mean it. I mean it. And I can almost guarantee you that any successful person that you see out there that's speaking, that's succeeding, that's achieving, they've got it too, just like you do. And we don't think that when we see successful people, we don't think that they're struggling with imposter syndrome. We don't think that they're struggling with fear, failure, but they are. I promise you. Something I've had to learn along the years is that I cannot cling to old seasons, that I have to allow God to work in my life and help me understand how to welcome new seasons. And I think that when we can do that, when we can move forward and be grateful for where we've come and then see how we can evolve in a new way. Listen, times are changing. Things are modernizing, they are transforming. And coming from a very nostalgic girl, it's hard. It's hard not to cling to old times, to old seasons. But for those of you, for those of us that can choose to embrace newness, still appreciate where we've come from and bring the lessons we learned from those seasons, we will be the ones that continue to grow and succeed. When you can let go of the old things and renew yourself in this new season and give yourself this new motivation. Here's the thing, motivation, it's an emotional based feeling. It's not motivation isn't something that you're born with. It isn't something that you're guaranteed to have every day. Literally not a single human being on this planet has motivation every single day. I don't care what they say. There are some days that from the outside looking in, people probably think I'm motivated, but I am literally, it feels like I'm walking through mud. Like I feel exhausted. I feel nervous. I feel scared. I feel overwhelmed. By the grace of God, constantly in prayer, constantly in the word, constantly knowing I'm here on this earth for a very, very short time for a purpose. And if I can still physically move, I have not hit failure. I might have had to learn a lesson, but I haven't hit failure. I still have purpose. I still have breath in my lungs. I still have purpose. God's still working through me. God is still working through you. Growth can feel really lonely in the beginning, especially when you can visualize. If you have the gift of that word's hard. Especially if you have the gift of visualization. Whoa. I'm not going to even try to say that word again, so we're just going to keep that in. If you've got that gift and you can, and I do think that is one of my God-given gifts, is that I can envision success before I have it. I can envision what this will do for my life in 5 years. So if I don't feel like doing it today, I can still say disciplined. I'm not motivated, but I'm disciplined. I think that understanding sometimes that road is lonely. And when you feel lonely, sometimes you feel like you made the wrong choice. And then that whole comparison game comes in where you're looking from left to right. Oh, she's going and doing this. Oh, he's doing this. Oh, she's doing this. And you don't want to take the road less traveled. You want to follow because you're nervous, you're scared, you have imposter syndrome, you're doubting yourself. But if you are in prayer, if you are constantly asking God for guidance, for strength, for wisdom, for discernment, He will give it to you. He will give you everything you need each day just to put one foot in front of the other. And so although it's lonely and it's scary, it's possible. It is possible with Him. There is a worship song that I love so much, and it says, I've still got joy in chaos. I've got peace that makes no sense, and I won't be going under. I'm not held by my own strength, 'cause I put my faith in Jesus. He never lets me down. He's faithful through generations. So why would He fail now? He won't. I could just blast that song every day. Because I'll tell you what, first of all, peace doesn't always give you certainty. And I think that so often we're desperately begging, asking God, please give me peace about this decision. And sometimes He can give you peace, but there's not certainty that you're doing the right thing. And you just have to trust that He's guiding you. When I listen to that song and it says, I've still got joy in chaos. I've got peace that makes no sense. Man, there's nothing truer. There's nothing truer than the relationship with Jesus giving you peace and joy that makes no sense. No sense to you. No sense to me, no sense to the people around me that are going, I can't believe she's doing that. I can't believe she's started that business. I can't believe she's actually trying to lose weight again. I can't believe she's trying this. I can't believe she's going for that promotion. I can't believe she started that baking business. I can't believe what the heck ever you're facing right now that's really scary and you have imposter syndrome around. If you literally close your eyes every single day and you ask God for peace in the chaos, He will give it to you. And again, peace doesn't always give you certainty, but if you can lean on God for strength on those days that, man, you're just not motivated and you don't want to be disciplined, that is truly what I have to do. And here's the thing, it's not always perfect. Sometimes I show up and it's messy. Sometimes I show up and I'm in a bad mood. These hormones. Not only are you being faithful to what God's calling you to do, but you're inspiring somebody else every time you do it. And it's crazy because a lot of you don't think that you're inspirational. I have coached thousands of women in business. And it's so funny how many women will be like, my life is boring. I'm not inspirational. I'm like, literally you just getting up and folding your laundry and cooking your family a home cooked meal or going on a walk and like moving your body will inspire somebody that is even impossible for them to do right now because of the season they're in. Like we're on this earth for such a small time. We have to be willing to show up and inspire other people without expecting things in return. I've talked a lot about Agape on my social media. Agape is tattooed on my wrist. My husband and I actually got this in downtown Cabo San Lucas for our 8th anniversary. 10 out of 10 don't recommend tattoos in Mexico. Don't do that. But agape is a word that we try to model our marriage after. It is sacrificial love. It is love and servant heart without expectation of anything in return. And I think we're called to that level of servant heart. What's the word? How do I want to say that? I think we're called to that level of love and of being a servant, I guess I could say. Wow, grammar is hard today, y'all. To everybody, not just to our spouse, but to everybody, because we have an obligation, and this is my belief, and this may not be your belief, but I believe that I'm put on this earth to be a light of God, to move through the tough time, to show up and show how God is giving me strength and working through me to then inspire other people and maybe, hopefully, God willing, inspire them to go, man, like this girl, she talks about her relationship with Jesus a lot, and she is clearly given strength. She's given peace. She's given direction, she's given discernment, she's given, right? And maybe that might encourage them to go, let me get to know this Jesus guy, right? So if not for yourself, then for others. If not for yourself, then for others. Show up. Show up and know that it's going to feel a little lonely at times, a little scary at times, but you can do this. You have what it takes. And you're not alone in feeling nervous and feeling terrified of what if I fail. My question is, what if you don't? What if you fly? What if this is the choice that changes your life? What if this is the decision? What if this is the year that you transform? This is the year that you find confidence. This is the year that you figure out why you were put on this earth. And you wouldn't have known if you didn't keep moving through that. Maybe my exact story doesn't relate to what you're walking through, like starting businesses and partnerships and navigating all of these different high-level business things. Maybe that isn't what you're facing. My story is your story. It's our story in the sense of there is something in your life that you're holding back on because you're scared, you're nervous, you feel like an imposter, you feel like you're going to fail and you don't want to because how embarrassing. There's something that you're holding back. And I just ask you to release control of it because it's not yours to control. It's God's to control. Give it to him and ask him for the strength, for the discernment to just say every day, just tell me, what way do I step left or do I step right? Ask him for directions, because I will tell you, the best directions come from God's word, from the Bible, not from MapQuest, not from Apple Maps, not from Google Maps. MapQuest. Do y'all remember MapQuest? That is so funny. Do you remember we used to print out directions? We literally used to print out directions if we wanted to go somewhere on a road trip. Man, those were the days. And in a road trip, you were present. You just talked to each other because you didn't have a phone. I miss those days. There we go with the nostalgia. I'm telling you, I literally am the most nostalgic person. I know you want to hold on to the past ways, but the new ways are what's going to take you forward, not the past. See, we have to let go of that. We can embrace it. We can put it in a picture frame. We can miss it, but we can't let it hold us back. And we can't let fear hold us back anymore. And I want you to know that the people that you're seeing succeeding and achieving and doing the things you wish you could do, they're just as scared as you are. We do not got it figured out. I promise you that. So stop letting yourself be so terrified of the future that you could have and make the decisions, take the steps forward, dive into it. Because I'm telling you, it is worth it. Big risk, big win, or big lesson, but you got nothing to lose. Maybe the version of us that we are just desperately praying for, that we are desiring God to reveal to us, the things that we want to achieve, the person that we want to be, is built in seasons like this. In fact, I do believe that hard seasons where it's chaotic and scary and busy and loud, I think it's the soil that we are planted in, rooted in, and grow from. And I think it can be a blessing to look hindsight and see different seasons that you've gone through where that's happened, but not everybody is willing to look at their failures in that way. And so if I could just encourage you to look back, because maybe you have gone for it. Maybe you've gone for something and you've pushed through the fear and then you failed, but you learned something. You grew from that. Some part of you was strengthened. Maybe it's so that you know better for next time. Maybe it's so you can help somebody else through that problem. There is a reason you've gone through it. But if you continue to take a step forward every single day and believe that, I'm not even telling you to believe in yourself because, man, sometimes I can't believe in myself. I'm like, I do not got this. But believe that God has got your back. He takes care of the birds, the bees, the animals, the trees. Why would he not take care of you and I? Why would he not? And I will say, for me, I look back on my life at all of the craziness that I grew up in, all of the survival moments, all of the chaotic moments, all of the stressful moments, all of the huge mistakes that there are so many I haven't even shared on here yet. You my girls, we'll get there. There are so many moments that I'm like, I cannot believe I got through that. But I'll tell you what, I think there are still some of those things that I went through that I learned lessons that I still haven't even had to use yet. And it will eventually come full circle. And I hope that one day when we're old and gray, we can laugh about it and be like, remember when we were scared of this or scared of that? I hope we don't look back and go, remember how scared we were so we didn't do anything? No, not us, not this generation, not you, not I. We have what it takes. We do, because we have Jesus. We have Jesus, we have each other, and we got this. Thank you so much for listening. I really do pray that somehow I have given you a glimpse at the craziness and the chaos that I've got going on behind closed doors. I never want to be a highlight reel. I always want to be real, raw, and honest. I want you to know that you've got this, and I am cheering for you. See you next time.